Before I can thoroughly explain what the learner's mindset is and how you develop it, I need to ensure that you fully appreciate why you need to reignite or rekindle your learner's mindset. Do you long to prepare your children, students, or learners for life? Prepare them to embrace challenges as opportunities for growth? Prepare them to take ownership of their learning and change their world and the world around them? Do you hope to improve the world one learner at a time? If this is what you yearn for or hope to achieve, then reigniting your learner's mindset is where you need to start. Even though I'm about to share with you the 3 changes you need to make to reignite your learner's mindset, you also need to recognize that while I am pointing to 3 potential steps in this process, you need to do much more than simply apply the 3 steps. You have to embrace a vision of where you want to go, and to do that, you need to embrace the entirety of the learner's mindset. Perhaps the following quote from Saint Exupery will help you recognize the bigger picture. He stated, "If you want to build a ship, don't drum up people to collect wood and don't assign them tasks and work, but rather teach them to long for the endless immensity of the sea." If you are longing or yearning to change your learner's world, and do more than just prepare them for tests, but prepare them to embrace the opportunities of the future, then adopting the learner's mindset is what you need to do. The learner's mindset is a state of being where people act on their intrinsic capacity to learn and respond to their inquisitive nature. This state enables one to interact and influence the learning environment as a perpetual learner who has a capacity to use change and challenges as opportunities for growth. Reigniting the learner's mindset requires a change in the following 3 factors: a change in thinking about learning, a change in approach to learning, and a change in the learning environment. A change in thinking about learning must start with acknowledging that the head won't go where the heart hasn't been. The neuroscientist and researcher Antonio Damasio has argued, "We are not thinking machines. We are feeling machines that think." On a similar note, the behavioral economist, researcher, and author Daniel Early also argues, "We aren't cool calculators of self-interest who sometimes go crazy. We are crazies who, under special circumstances, are sometimes rational." Since the affective domain must be engaged before we can solicit the cool rationality of our cognitive domain, our change must start with why. Simon Sinek argues that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Therefore, reinforcing or restoring the learner's mindset and the intrinsic inquisitive nature that is central to the state of being must start with the why, or a motivational purpose. To start this journey, we must also move from a fixed to a growth mindset, and then to the innovator's mindset, and then perhaps even move on to the scout's mindset. This holistic process includes exploring more beautiful questions, using passion and perseverance, and recognizing the power of failing forward, feeding forward, and make learning visible through authentic learning opportunities. This change in our thinking about learning will lead to a change in our approach to learning. The best way to make this change is to give your learners choice, ownership, and voice through authentic learning opportunities, which is what we refer to as a COVA framework or approach. The following 4 factors come into play with COVA. Learners are given the freedom to choose how they wish to structure and present their learning experiences and evidence of learning. Learners are given control and ownership over the entire learning process, including the selection of projects, the portfolio platform and process, and all their learning tools and experiences. Learners are also given the opportunity to use their own voice and to structure their work and ideas and share those insights and knowledge with their colleagues within their organizations. Learners are finally given the opportunity to select and engage in authentic learning opportunities that enable them to make a difference in their own learning environments and the world around them. Authentic learning opportunities are virtually limitless if we are willing to embrace learning opportunities in the real world around us and move beyond the constraints of the traditional classroom. Authentic learning opportunities can include, but are not limited to, online, mobile, and blended learning, project-based learning, also known as PBL, the project approach, challenge-based learning, also referred to as CBL, computational thinking, coding, robotics, esports, gamifications, e-portfolios, makerspaces, and much, much more. I must caution you to not stop here. Our change in our thinking about learning that leads to a change in the approach to learning must happen within the context of a change in your learning environment. All too often we want a quick fix, or look to apply a treatment or implement one or two factors of change, but if we don't take the full context into account, our change attempts will fail. Research and years of experience make this very clear. For example, the most recent research on the application of the growth mindset has shown that simply applying the growth mindset as a treatment has no effect on academic achievement. This is not a problem with the growth mindset itself. It is a problem with attempting to apply this multi-layered idea as a reductionist or simplistic treatment to a more complex problem. If you don't change your learning environment to match the growth mindset perspective, no change will happen. Carol Dweck, the author of The Growth Mindset, has stressed this notion in her writing, but all too often there's a tendency to look for a quick fix and resorting to simplifying or applying a limited aspect of an idea as a simple treatment which dooms one to failure from the start. Therefore, to create a significant learning environment in which you give your learners choice, ownership, and voice through authentic learning opportunities, you must start with a student-centered approach and purposely assemble all the key components of effective learning into a significant learning environment, where you can then help your students to learn how to learn and grow into the people we all hope they will become. Combining the CSLE with a COVA approach enables you to move well beyond the classroom experience when you incorporate the following CSLE factors. Start with a student-centered perspective. Use diverse teaching roles. Move from being a presenter, facilitator, coach to being a mentor. Utilize ubiquitous internet access and social networking and media. Incorporate diverse instructional formats. Face-to-face, technology-enhanced, blended, online, and other formats. Implement effective instructional design based on backward design principles. Apply authentic assessment evaluation. Ensure academic quality and standards, and provide an ongoing support and an effective infrastructure. Moving to or adopting the learner's mindset requires that one change their thinking about learning, their approach to helping themselves and their learners learn how to learn, and by changing the learning environment. One of the most significant challenges to adopting the learner's mindset is that these changes in behavior need to happen cumulatively and in close proximity, but not necessarily at the same time. Are you ready to reignite your learner's mindset and pass on that spark to your learner?